Hello Internet, welcome back to more of our Apartment Rat series. In this episode, we are going to be grinding skills, and I'm going to be telling you stories because, I don't know, because we need to grind our skills, and because that can be extremely boring. I thought maybe I would just cut it out, but I decided no, I'm just going to leave it in because I kind of want some footage. And I also was reminded of someone from my youth today, and I thought, well, I'll tell you a story about them. I want to read the hand loader's helper really quick just to see what level. I mean, we can just throw some splintered wood in here. It's fine. I want to see what level you need in order to use the hand loader's helper, because the hand loader's helper raises your fab. That is a ton of recipes. Of course, all the reloaded ammunition requires fab 3, so we don't really have to grind very far. We just need 2 levels in fab. We are fab 1 at 8%. And like I said, I think the knitting needles are the way to go. So we will make these 4 at a time in case we mess them up. There we go. There we go. We should eat something or do something that would put us in a good mood to raise our focus. Do we have any drugs? I never take drugs in this game. Do we have anything fun? I feel like we do. I mean, we have some weed, which is fine. Pink tabs. I don't know what pink tabs do. How do we look at this without eating it? Pink tab. Tiny pink tabs resembling postage stamps already dosed with some sort of drug. Really only useful for entertainment. Will cause hallucinations. I don't want hallucinations. So we're not going to do that. Okay. Nobody look. Okay, that should help with our focus, I would imagine. I feel like that's something that is... Actually, I feel like it would be terrible for your attention. Jittery and pumped up. Oh, crazy bump to intelligence and perception, though. So I imagine between that and we'll eat like a toastum or something. What is not frozen that has a high morale? Maple syrup candy is also a stimulant. I don't want us to have like a heart attack. Or chocolate bar. We eat a chocolate bar, and we eat a cookie. So that should put our focus in a pretty good spot. Probably need to butcher some 2x4s really quick. Really have to do these one at a time, huh? Where's my 1 key? There we go. Do that a couple times. Okay. Make some knitting. Our focus is going down. Why is our focus going down? We have such high morale. Focus gain per minute plus 0.69. So why is our focus dropping? Is it because it's super boring to... Why don't we read... Through the lens, because it gave us like a super high morale boost last time we read it. Okay. Plus 0.69. So focus is going down. That's okay. We're just going to keep making knitting needles. Actually, I should check. Did we over level this yet? No. 83%. Now our focus is going up. I don't really understand. That's okay. So we got Fab 2. Next, we're going to look at Fab 3. Anyway, I'm going to tell you a story because this crap is already boring. Fab. So I was like 16, I think, 17. And, we would make the die staff and spindle is what we made before, I think. Oops, yeah, there might be something better. Like I see here. Oh, no, it requires duct tape. We would never make that. Yeah, we'll just make die, staff, and spindle. This was like 15 or 16, and I went to a friend's birthday party. You mess up and lose 6%. That's fine. And back then, I was very attentive when it came to females. I paid a lot of attention. You probably remember being that age. Fab, 88%. You probably remember being that age, and it's like everything you do, you kind of are like you're super aware of the people around you, and you know, you try really hard to make people like you, and particularly females, because you're at that age. And yeah, so I went to my friend's birthday party, who I had a crush on, but she did not like me at all. And I got there, and there was this very attractive young woman there. You know, she, I think, was a year younger than me, so I'm like 16, 17, and she's like 16-ish. I don't even think she was a full year younger than me. Anyway, not going to tell you her name, and I'm not sure what I will call her. So we're just not going to give her a name. We're just going to, let's call her Anne, okay? So I met Anne, and she was immediately smitten with me. Like, she told, but before I even left the birthday party, people were coming up to me like, "Oh, Anne really likes you. Anne thinks you're so handsome." And it's like, "Oh, who is Anne? Like, what? Royal beef? The heck is royal beef? Where did this come from? What? Royal beef. Food looks fine. If you were more skilled in cooking or survival, you might be able to make a better estimate. Chunk of meat with a coat of royal jelly over it. Oh. Where did I find this? When did I find this? I feel like because it has royal jelly, it probably has valuable properties. But it's meat, so it's going to go bad. 3 days. In fact, oh man, a lot of this stuff is going to go bad. Well, we ate a ton of calories today, so I'm not worried about calories. Oh man, I don't know where we picked that up. But anyway, we need to eat some of these pizzas because they are absolutely going to go bad. We'll eat the veggie pizza, I guess. Some of this is going to spoil. We're not going to go through all this food in the next... Oh man, we had 2 of them. Okay. Yeah, some of this is definitely going to go bad. We will eat the royal beef at some point because I feel like that's probably super good for me, like health-wise or something. But for the moment, we're not going to pay too much attention to that. We are going to need to fix ourselves some more water as well. Everything else we have is alcohol. Okay. At least things are thawing out, which is nice. Because it's like 8 p.m. and it's thawed, which is nice. Which is good because they're usually frozen. So we'll drink a little bit of lemonade to supplement our water. And then when we wake up, we will definitely need... I'm not going to go to sleep while we have the very hungry, very thirsty tag. So I'm going to wait just a minute. We're still thirsty though. Okay, we'll have another swig of lemonade, I guess. Oops, drank some wine by mistake. That's okay. Probably not a big deal. And we will sleep, although... Okay, so the Coke wore off, so we don't have to worry about that. We are not going to be using Coke very frequently because I don't want our character to be sickly and crazy and drug addicted. So anyway, this girl Anne had a crush on me immediately. I guess I was a handsome young man. Why not? I was super fit back then. You know how it is when you're like 17, and you just... I mean, maybe you don't know. I'm just naturally muscular and always have been. And I'm not bad to look at. I wasn't anyway before I gained this weight and my hair started thinning. But anyway, so I had this party and she's whatever. And actually, you know, she was real pretty. People kept telling me that she was an artist, which I really like artists. Let's look for... I mean, I guess we'll just take the... 3 liter. No, we need the gallon jug. Yeah, we'll take the gallon jug. We'll go over here and we'll melt the toilet water again. I'm going to save again because I still don't trust this process and don't want to end up burning down. We can just burn the sports novel, I bet. Hey, look at that. Pour in the container, gallon jug. So there we have some water. So we will come over here and we will cook that water. Yeah, I really like artists, always have. I have a bit of an artist soul myself. So start a fire. So I've always been really drawn to those people, particularly those that actually make art as opposed to writing, because I am a writer and I don't find that all that impressive. But when it comes to actually drawing and painting, I find that very good. Why couldn't that all fit in the 3 liter? Did I not put that in a 3 liter? Okay, I don't know. Anyway, we're going to go and we're going to get a second batch. So I immediately was, you know, enjoying this young lady's company. And we started talking online because back then that's how everyone talked. Nobody really saw each other in person. We all lived kind of far apart. So we would just end up talking online on, back then it was Instant Messenger and AIM and all that kind of stuff. So we should have 2 bottles of clean water. Why do we only have 1? Also, why does a 3-liter jar hold less than a gallon jug? I thought a gallon was like a little over 2 liters. Or is it a little over 3 liters? Maybe I'm mistaken. Whatever, we have some water, which is what we wanted. You can eat some of this pizza, which is obviously frozen again, so we're going to heat that up. So we started talking online, and it turns out her parents were not a fan of us talking online, and I'm not really sure why. I think they had well, I'm not going to go into it, a problem with my particular faith at the time. I was vaguely religious, and they didn't like that very much because they were like hippie types, and they weren't a big fan of religion. Not that hippies have a problem, like, just whatever, don't judge me. But we would sneak around on like art websites, and we would have these like private messages, and we would talk occasionally. And I eventually asked her to homecoming, because that was like a really big deal to me back then. Going to a dance with a girl was like I had a whole lot of mental health problems, and so like I had difficulty feeling accepted and appreciated and things like that. So for me, for a girl to be like, yeah, I'll totally go to a dance with you, was like a real self-esteem boost, because I thought everyone hated me all the time. I'm gonna continue eating veggie pizza for a combination of morale buff, and I'll drink a beer, and because we want to eat them before they go bad. We'll go back. Hopefully that helps our focus. Too dark to read. Oh, we ran out of wood. Okay, well, I guess because we were crafting so much earlier, we ran through our store of wood. So finally decided, hey, I'm going to ask her to homecoming. And she said yes, which was nice. But her parents did not like me. And I had not actually met her parents. They just did not like me on principle. So, we didn't really tell them exactly who I was. They just knew that she was going to homecoming with some boy, from another school that she had met. And then I never met them, and I showed up at their house for homecoming, and I was wearing my little black slacks and black button down. I don't know if any of you grew up poor, but when you grow up poor, the nicest clothes you have are usually slacks. Like you have one pair of black slacks, and then you have like a black button-down long sleeve shirt that's usually from like the, community, like, what do you call that? Like a thrift store that your family picked up for you, so you had something to wear to funerals and junk. So it wasn't, great. I was poor, and I looked poor, and was unhappy. And I had never been to her house. I'd never met her parents. And I go, and it turns out this particular girl, Anne, lived in a God's honest mansion. Like the biggest house I have ever seen in my entire life. And you might think like, oh, he's just poor. He doesn't know what a mansion, he probably thinks everything is a mansion. No, their family had money. And I mean, the kind of never work again, never have to do anything for the rest of your life kind of money. And I did not know that going to their house. And so we pull up in our little, blown out SUV from, 15 years ago. And they have like, a Beamer. And like, I'm just so uncomfortable. And I walk up to the front door of her house, and I'm embarrassed, and I'm like uncomfortable, because I know immediately that I'm like way out of my element, and that they, already didn't like me, even though they kind of didn't know who I was. And I knock on the door, and there comes Anne. She runs up to the door. She looks beautiful, and is in her dress for homecoming. And her mom is like wedges herself in front of her daughter and opens the door. The door is open, and she kind of like wedges in between her daughter and the front door. And she looks me up and down. She doesn't say anything to me. She doesn't say hello. She doesn't ask me my name. She looks me up and down, and she says, "I don't like him. He looks poor." And I broke inside. Like, I had no idea. Look, what do you say to that? You know, how awful a human being do you have to be to look at a 16-year-old in the face and say, "Hey, you look poor," you know? So that was not good. I don't know why. So this girl, Anna and I, we would talk off and on. She was a painter. She painted a lot. She was quite good at it, which I really look up to those sort of traits in people. Okay, so our fab is 6. We're going to need a digging tool, and we're going to need rocks. So let's look for... No, what am I doing? I'm going to look for quality dig. Makeshift shovel. Digging 2, that's what we're looking for. And we have everything. We will use the sinew to get it out of here. There we go. I have a shovel. And we will... I don't know if we need like a real basher to get... Why would I search for bash? I don't know if we need... Before, when I smashed boulders, I was using the home wrecker. I don't know if we need to make that. We need chunks of steel. We can get those pretty easy. So she and I continued talking kind of without, you know, her parents knowing. We would talk online and whatever. And she was an artist, and I always really liked that. And one time, her dad, he didn't have a problem with me. Her mom was the one who had the real problem with me. And her dad took she and I, to a park just to kind of spend time together. Did I not just pick up chunks of steel? I picked up 1 chunk of steel. And we just sat in this park and we talked about... Well, I mean, we were teenagers, so we talked about dumb shit. But we talked about her art, and she told me... Chunk of steel. And she told me that she didn't consider herself a good painter. And I was like, that's crazy. Like, you are so good. It's crazy to me that you're, 16 and you can paint better than anyone I've ever seen. Which, was part flattery and part truth, because she was crazy good. And she told me that she would never consider herself a good painter until she could, like, paint the sky at sunset, which was something that had eluded her. Which I had never thought about the sunset before, because who thinks about that kind of stuff? And ever since then, and I swear to God, I still do this. It's been like 15 years since. Where are these creatures coming from? I thought we had pretty well cleared this out. We see 3 zombies within. 3 zombies within sight here. 5 zombies. Okay, some are outside. Looks like they broke down our front door. I mean, I guess we fight them. Didn't we clear that apartment, though, like, really recently? Rip my leather pants. Come here, crawler. Oh, you're dead, I guess. Okay. Ignore. I thought this was a crawler that was still alive. We'll take the mineral water. We definitely take the MP3 player. And we'll take the refillable lighter as a backup. There's another leather backpack, which we will take as well. We're going to check out this apartment. We really don't want people smashing up. Did you guys follow me all the way home? We saw a hazmat zombie way over here somewhere. There's just a new horde in here. I don't know where they came from. I don't think I have wander spawns on. Getting pretty damaged here. Or damaging our clothing, rather. Take the rum, take the thermos, because we're going to have to go back up to drop this stuff off anyway. And it's so dumb. It's been like 15 years since I've seen this girl or even talked to this girl. We didn't talk for very long because her parents were, her mom put her foot down and was like, look, you go to different schools. He lives pretty far away. I don't like him. Don't talk to him. So, it became... Like, when you're that age, you can kind of do the sneaky thing where it's like, oh, we're going to talk anyway. But after a while, it's like, well, who's going to drive me? How am I going to, get there to spend time with you? I did live pretty far away. So it was like, we didn't see each other for very long. But I was driving today on my way home from work, and one of the benefits of the job that I have is that I can just sort of pretty much every day can see the sunrise, which can be nice. We needed, so our crowbar is in bad shape as well, as is the baton. So I think what we'll do, we'll drop this crowbar. We'll wield the baton and we'll make a new crowbar, because we don't want to be out and about and then have our weapons break and have nothing to back it up. So come over here and we'll make a new crowbar. And every time that I'm out and about and I see the sunrise, and it's particularly beautiful because sometimes it's quite lovely. You don't need to scrap metal either. I think about Anne, wherever she is. I know she's a hippie now. Yeah, so there's tons of zombies here that were not here. In fact, we're getting the audio cue of the horde. So I guess just these 5 zombies is enough to trigger the audio cue. We're going to move down into this doorway so they come to us one at a time. I just really wish I knew where they were coming from. Because I don't think that there's any real benefit to having hordes around here. That's a tough one. Bites my left leg, yep. Good thing we're wearing leather hot pants or something. Heard thump. Yeah, I'm hearing a lot of thumping. Baseball bat. Awesome. We were just talking about blunt weapons. We can turn this into a nail bat or a barbed wire or whatever pretty easy. Cash card, as well as an expandable baton. I don't know if this is better or worse than our current baton. It is in better condition. We'll take the pocket watch. Why don't we check that out immediately before we go check these other thumping noises. So let's look at this baton right next to our other baton. They have the same stats, except the expandable baton is faster attacks and smaller volume, which really doesn't matter. Same rapid strike. No, instead of the high block ability, it has the medium block ability. I don't know how big of an issue that is. I mean, it just has lower moves per attack, I think, is the main thing here. So I think we're going to go with this one, but I do think I would rather have this one. So if we can repair this, I'd rather have this one. We also should get on making a welder now that I'm thinking about it. So we'll swap batons for the moment. Swap. Okay. Are you guys just in every apartment on this floor now? So it's a good thing we didn't move into this floor, because we might have died in our sleep or something. I'm not sure how they knew to come over here. So we're going to be pretty careful. Okay, you're just a zombie. Pretty careful about swamp creatures. Feral runner out there in the middle of nowhere. Probably chasing an animal of some sort. Not seeing any boulders. There's a boulder. That runner's catching up to us. Just come on. Of course you were revived. Necco wafers, more weed. We'll unload the cell phone as well. Oh, I meant to drop stuff off in the apartment before I smashed up some boulders, but that's okay. We'll swap to the home wrecker. Smash the boulder. 6 whole rocks. Hot diggity dog. What is this thing? A Lotus. Okay. Smash. We're going to gather rocks for a forge and charcoal kiln. We're going to swap back to the baton because there's something coming. multiple things coming. There's a lot of monster density lately, seems like. It's not a super big deal because they're all basic level enemies, but they will become more of an issue as they upgrade into higher tier enemies. What tore down these windows if the windows aren't broken? How'd they tear down these strings? Whatever. Yeah, back upstairs, drop stuff off. I don't think the storytelling aspect of this episode went very well. I don't think I don't think it was a super interesting story. Maybe it's just means something to me because, you know, she was important to me for a little while in my life. But I sure thought that would be more interesting than it was. Drop all this. I should probably drop the rocks downstairs on account of them, you know. I don't want to build the forge up here. Let's look at the baseball bat. Make the nail bat. That's the fire one we don't want. And a barbed wire bat. Barbed wire bat is slightly better than the nail bat, but the odds of us finding barbed wire are pretty unlikely. So we will just make the nail bat. Can't see the craft. So we'll grab some nails, which probably were moved off of this pile. No, they weren't. Come over here. Make the nail bat. Wield the nail bat because that will be much better than... Actually, let's look at the nail bat just real quick. Should have done this before I crafted it. Has the medium block ability and has quite a high damage and plus 2 hit. So I do think we will swap to the nail bat. And we will drop the batons. Oh, we unwielded it because I'm a dummy. Wield the nail bat. Already have dropped the batons. Drop the nails. Yeah, I think that's fine. And we'll go and we'll drop the rocks downstairs. I actually think this is where we're going to call the episode. I thought it would be better than this. It got a little rambly. A little nonsense with the story here. Kill this doggo and then we'll call it. Smash. Okay, for now that's going to do it. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the episode. And I will be back with more Cataclysm in the near future.